Welcome to Sociology Vibes, where we simplify challenging ideas into easy-to-understand insights. Today, our focus is on the Asch Conformity experiment conducted by social psychologist Solomon Asch. The findings of this experiment shaped our understanding of the influence of peer and social pressure on conformity. Asch conducted these experiments in 1951 and 1955, but to this day, variations of his experiments continue to be replicated, producing similar results. Asch was interested in understanding how pressure from group members influence individuals to conform to a group's expectations, even if they knew the group was wrong. He solicited 7 actors for what he called a vision test. He instructed these actors to give incorrect answers during the experiment to observe the responses of the actual research subject. The experiment began with the 7 actors and the 1 research subject who was unaware that this was all a setup. All 8 of the participants were shown a card with 1 line and a second card with 3 lines of different lengths marked A, B, and C. All of the participants were asked which one of the 3 lines marked A, B, or C was equal to the length of the line on the first card. At first, all participants gave the correct answer, and these rounds continued until there was a round in which all 7 of the actors gave the wrong answer. This meant that the experiment only had 1 actual subject who now had to decide whether to provide the obvious correct answer or go along with the group's incorrect answer. Asch intermittently repeated the rounds with the actors, giving correct or wrong answers depending on the round. Asch repeated this experiment with 50 male college students as the research subjects. And for each research subject, the question about the lines was asked 18 times, and on 12 of those questions, the actors gave the wrong answers, while on 6 of those questions, they answered correctly. Findings were surprising, to say the least. The research subjects conformed to the group's incorrect answer 32% of the time, with 74% conforming at least once, even though the correct answer was obvious. 26% of the research subjects never conformed, not even once. Asch, in addition, also conducted a control experiment with 37 different research subjects with the same 2 cards and the same questions. In this control experiment, there were no actors. It was just the experimenter who was the only one asking the research subject questions. And this time, less than 1% of the time, the research subjects gave the incorrect answer. The Asch Conformity experiment found that most people eventually conform to a group against their own will for various reasons. These include not wanting to be the odd one out, not maybe believing what they saw with their own eyes, and thinking the group had some additional information that maybe they were not privy to. Asch repeated the experiment a few years later and added a new variable. This time, when the actors answered incorrectly, one of the actors actually did answer correctly, lowering the percentage of times the research subjects answered incorrectly. And what these findings suggested that when coalitions emerge in groups, conformity tends to decrease because having a supportive partner can make it easier to go against the group's will. While we generally consider peer pressure problematic during our younger years as teens and young adults, group conformity is common in all ages. In meetings, people might internally disagree with ideas and choose to remain silent or even voice their agreement. Elected legislators vote on bills to go along with the majority in their party. And jury members might go along with the majority of jury members. Citizens might vote one way but tell their friends and families something else to get along with the majority. The Solomon Asch Conformity experiment helps us to understand how and why people sometimes go along with a group, even when they know the group is wrong. Conformity is the tendency to change our behavior to fit in with others. The group's power is strong, and going against it can be scary. Sometimes people don't think the stakes are high enough, so they go along to get along. While group conformity maintains social order, if we found ourselves in Asch's experiment, most of us might like to think that we would be among the 26% who never conformed. Yet the truth is that the overwhelming majority of the subjects did conform at least once. So the next time you interact formally or informally in group settings, pay attention to when you go along with the group and why you do so. Asch's experiment also revealed that it is easier for others to follow when one person goes against the group. And this information might empower you to be that first person, knowing that others feel the same way you do, but are scared to speak out. And this makes sociology worth exploring further, don't you think? Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts, questions, or any topics you'd like us to explore next. Let's keep the conversation going and our community growing. See you in the next Sociology Vibes video.